who's responsible for Iran becoming a radical Islamic nation? Answer, in part we are. And by that I mean the Shah was admittedly unpopular, but the United States pulled the Persian rug out from under the Shah. That was Jimmy Carter. That was the Democrats. They forced the Shah to abdicate. And then we got Khomeini. So we, to some degree, helped create the monster. And this has been a real monster because this is not just Khomeini, it's Khomeiniism, it's jihadism. This has been going on now since really 1979. It's been going on for 46 years. Iran has been unrelentingly opposed to the United States. Death to America is not something new. This has been their slogan since, you guessed it, 1979. Death to Israel is kind of their afterthought. So it's not like they started with death to Israel and then came up with death to America. It's the opposite. They started with death to America. And then Israel was seen as a subset, a pawn, a little Satan to America's great Satan. And the Iranians have been bad boys, you might say, for the whole time. The Beirut bombing, innumerable bombings in the 1990s, Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia, the funding of Hamas and Hezbollah, and all the Hezbollah machinations, not just in the Middle East, but in South America and Mexico. The terror cells that the Iranians have tried to get into the United States. So the building of the atomic bomb is just the top rung of a very nefarious ladder, a very nefarious totem pole, a very nefarious structure of terrorism, mayhem, and evil that the Iranian regime has been sowing. And now the Israelis are saying we might be able to end it all. We might be able to finish these people off. We might be able to get rid of them. And who's going to be cheering the loudest? Well, you might think it's Israel, but no, the people who are going to be cheering the loudest are the Iranian people themselves. These are the people who get forgotten. Whenever I hear people say, and there are a lot of people saying this in social media, Iran has a right to defend themselves. Well, who are they talking about? They're talking about the right of the regime to defend itself. They're concerned about the welfare of the regime and not the Iranian people. Don't the Iranian people have a right to defend themselves against the regime? Of course they do. And now, look, I agree that the United States should not be getting involved in a big war. We certainly shouldn't be getting involved in an occupation. But let's propose a thought experiment. This came up yesterday when I did my locals Q&A, and somebody said very clearly, like, what price are we willing to pay? And I said, look, let's think it out. Let's say that Israel says to the United States that we will take care of Iran. We will use weaponry. You've sold us to do it, but that's fine. We will do the job. We will fight. You don't have to fight. We're not asking some, guy to get off his couch in Peoria and come fight for the IDF. We don't need those people. We haven't asked for them. And we will do it. Now, there might be a couple of these nuclear facilities that require American bunker-busting bombs. So let's just say that we want to borrow 5 of your B-52s to drop those bunker-busting bombs on Iran overnight. In other words, we want to borrow your planes for 24 hours to do that. We'll take care of it. We'll get it done. And you'll get your planes back. They're on loan. We're not trying to take them. You don't have to give them to us. We just need them to help us complete the task. And the effect of this is going to be the collapse of the nuclear program, potentially the fleeing of the mullahs, potentially the recovery of the whole society by the Iranian people. And then, of course, you get the inevitable, but then what happens next, Dinesh? How are you going to ensure? And the answer is we're not going to ensure anything. What we are going to say is that what comes after will be decided not by us, but by the Iranian people. We don't need to get involved. It's their country. They can figure it out. We can be pretty sure that what's going to come after is going to be better than what's there now. Right? We're not going to have jihadi mullahs who are shouting death to America and trying to build nuclear weapons to give them the means to do it. How is it not good for us to have that kind of a result? It is. It is good for us to have that kind of a result, and the post jihadi society is something that the Iranians can figure out for themselves. As I say, it's certainly better than what we have